Hey guys, we are at the 2019 Student Bonfire here in Bryan off Old Horn Road. We'll be quiet real quick and show you what is actually going on if you want to flip that other side. Looks like they're starting to, yell practice.
Give the sign, Aggie. A-G-G-I-E-S.
They're gonna do another.
Farmers fight! Farmers fight! 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 Farmers, farmers fight! Hey! Oh, there's another one. Raw, 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 T-A-M-C, raw, 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 T-A-M-C, raw, 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 T-A-M-C. They kind of messed that one up.
Sorry about that. If I don't go with this script, I'm probably going to lose it. First of all, I'm going to start with a big old ass howdy. It's great to be here. I mean, it's really great to be here to see this. You know, I want to thank the Red Pots and all these students that built this badass stack. I'm really honored to be your bonfire speaker tonight. I'm pretty fired up right now, so gotta give me a chance for this old heart to slow down.
So who's actually talking right now is the keynote speaker this year for 2019 Bonfire, which is Warren Barhorse.
But I'm gonna do my damn best. You know, I'm pretty sure I remember him saying, he was going to tear some longhorn heads off and crap down their necks. Man, did he. What a game. 37-12. Ags win.
Yeah, I was there.
That 1984 game started an Aggie run of 5 consecutive wins over Texas in 3 Southwest Conference champions.
Old Army.
My name is Warren Barhorst, fighting Texas A, class of 1988. My job tonight is to teach you guys about the making of the 12th man kickoff team and the tale of Tim Brown's style and how Bonfire and the spirit of Aggieland made it all happen. My goal is to make you guys realize that there's a spirit that can never be told. A spirit that will carry you when you're down and need a lift. A spirit that's always alive and there for you to call on. A spirit that will push you to be the best you can be. It's called the spirit of Aggieland. My dream to play football for the Aggies started in 1976 when I was 11 years old. Whew, I wound up. Whew. I was sitting on the last chair on the track, on the goal line, in the north end zone. And a guy from my high school that I idolized got hit and flipped into the end zone and scored a touchdown. His name was Aggie Armstrong. I swore that day I would play football for the Aggies. As the movie Friday Night Lights shows all too well, most high school players don't make the transition from Friday night to Saturday afternoon. My journey was no different. A&M never called, they never asked for any film, and I ended up going to Stephen F. Austin in Nacogdoches, thinking my football career was over. Heck, not only did A&M not want me to play football, they didn't want me as a student either. You know, about the same time, old Jackie Sherrill showed up here in Aggieland, and things weren't going so good for old Jackie at that time. And the Ags were losing about as many as they were winning. That's when old Red Pot James Fuquay, or Fumes, as they called him, barged into Jackie's office and said, "You gonna be our coach, or you gonna be an Aggie coach?" He told him, "If you wanna win, you gotta become a fighting Texas Aggie." That afternoon, Fumes took Coach on a tour of campus, teaching him all about our traditions. Coach learned about Aggie ring, muster, silver taps, loyalty, unity, and the spirit of the 12th man, ending that tour that evening at the Stack. Coach Sherry's Aggie education went on nonstop from that point, as he spent many hours working on the Stack, learning, listening, and trusting. Coach quickly learned that building of the bonfire links the students together and forever endows them to the traditions of the spirit of Texas A&M. Coach Sherrill also learned that the students working on the working on the Stack were tough. I mean, really tough. Coach once said that he didn't have a defensive end that was as tough as a red pot.
Amen, bro.
As the story goes, Coach was invited to the Bonfire Hilton one night when the Red Pots were mouthing off about they could do a lot more with the 12th man tradition. Fumes popped off and said, "Coach, you know the worst fear a college player has is that he'll get hurt and not make the NFL." Fumes also said it might be a psychological boost to our football team if we had a bunch of Aggies out there whose only purpose was to take someone's head off. Fumes joked and laughed that other teams should be worrying about the broken bones and maybe even stolen towels when the player played the Aggies' crazy suicide squad. Ooh. As we all know, Coach Sherrill didn't laugh and he didn't think it was a joke. Watching the Red Pots and the students working Bonfire convinced him that he could find 10 tough students to cover kickoffs. Sherrill now knew that the Aggies were far different than others. He believed there was no quit in any of them. Sherrill saw that the Aggies were a rare and special breed. That day at the Stack changed Coach Sherrill and forever changed Texas A&M as he put an all walk-on kickoff team on the field in 1983. That Thanksgiving of '85, my brother Al, class of '84, convinced me I should transfer from SFA and get my degree as an Aggie. In the spring of '86, as luck would have it, I picked up a copy of the Battalion and I read a wonderful ad. That ad read something like this: persons interested in the trying out for the 1986 12th man kickoff team should show up at Kyle Field dressing room on Monday, January 30th at 5:30 p.m. General meeting, no experience required. The tryouts that year, I bet there were 500 people out there. Lots of strong and fast kids, but somehow my name kept showing up on the list. This is where I first experienced what Coach Sherrill was building here in Aggieland. At the time, I didn't know what was driving Coach, and he was really driven. I mean driven. But today I can tell you that it was the spirit of Aggieland, the spirit that he had felt when he was working on the Stack, the spirit that makes him love A&M way more than he loves Alabama, Pittsburgh, or Mississippi State. The spirit that he poured into his players, the spirit that never quits, the spirit that makes you believe in yourself. Those first days of tryouts were agility and speed tests designed to weed out the guys that couldn't get down the field. They quickly put us in pads to see who was scared. I'll never know if the coaches were telling us to every kid. They told me I could contribute to the team and that I could play. That fall, just before the season started, I got my first setback. They came to me one day after practice and said the NCAAs won't let you play because you're a transfer student. They said, you can practice, but you can't play. I spent most of that season contemplating if I should quit, but something in my gut just kept telling me, Aggies never quit. Life moved fast. In the spring of '87, I went to ask my soon-to-be father-in-law for his daughter Lisa's hand in marriage. Lisa's dad, Ray, played football at Wharton Junior College in the 50s. He loves football. Ray's best friend is a guy named Pete Angemeller, who was John David Crow's backup back in the 50s. Getting permission to marry Lisa was going down without a hitch until Ray asked one question: what about football? Of course, I knew I had to hang up my cleats to finish my degree and support Lisa, but Ray said I could only marry Lisa on one condition: I couldn't quit football. Man, does that Aggie spirit work in many ways. By the fall of '87, I had a full load of classes, a wife, a baby, and on the way in football. I was barely making it all work. For the third time, I thought about quitting and giving up on my dream. By this time, Dennis Mudd from Yoakum, Texas. Nobody from Yoakum here. Dennis was one of the original 12th man guys from the 83 team, and he was working as a graduate assistant responsible for the 12th man. We talked for a long time that day about me quitting. I remember it like it was yesterday. His parting words were, "Hell, Barhorst, don't quit, because one day you can make a play that could change your life." And I never believed him, but Mud was right. It was the '88 Cotton Bowl, and we were up against the Fighting Irish from Notre Dame, led by Heisman Trophy winner and later NFL Hall of Famer Tim Brown.
Yeah, I was there.
It was a home game for the Irish in Dallas. It's Tim Brown's home. And everywhere we went, everything we saw was about how great Notre Dame and Tim Brown were. We decided as a team at the players' lunch that we were going to beat the hell out of Notre Dame.
We did.
The crowd was crazy, and we struggled to stay in front of them at halftime. And as the 12th man, as everybody here knows, you never know when your number's going to get called. In the third corner, they said, "Barhorst, it's your turn." In the kickoff huddle, Chet Brooks said to the team, "If you tackle Tim Brown, take his towel, he'll go nuts." Well, I did. I tackled Tim Brown, Heisman Trophy winner, and he almost went for 6. As I warned Barhorst, the kid who thought football career was over 2 years earlier, lunged for my life to take him down. I borrowed because Aggies don't steal his towel as my souvenir for playing in the '88 Cotton Bowl. Brown followed me to the bench after the play was over, tackled me from behind, screaming, "Give me back my towel." I'm sorry, y'all. My heart. Both benches cleared, and all brawl started. Brown went to the locker room, propelling the 12th man kickoff team to football history and Texas A&M lore. Coach Sherrill has told me many times over the years that his ultimate goal with the 12th man kickoff team was to connect the student body to the football team, to get the players to become Aggies. Every 12th man guy I know is playing for you. To this day, I truly don't care that I did not get credit for the play. During the game, Brent Musburger of CBS Sports gave credit to the play for a scholarship player wearing the same number named William Thomas, saying he was a ringer that Coach Sherrill had put in the game to take down Tim Brown. A year later, a painting was released called "Led by the Spirit," and my name was misspelled on the jersey of the original and 149 of the 150 prints. At the 25th anniversary of the 12th man kickoff team, Aggies were interviewed about their most favorable memory of the 12th man kickoff team. And they said it was when Bartowski took Tim Brown's towel. As you can see, it was not my play because I played for the 12th man. The day I made that play, the day I saw Armstrong flip into the end zone, and still to this day, every time I'm on Kyle Field at events like this tonight, I feel it. I feel the spirit of Aggieland. To me, it's E. King Gill making the hair on the back of my neck stand up when he whispers, "You can do it." You can see the Aggie spirit in the Aggies that gave their lives in World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and all the Gulf Wars. It's the drive that puts the 8 Congressional Medal honors to take action when no one else would. It's the 12 Aggies 20 years ago that gave more than anyone else while building this stack. It's the spirit left from all Aggies that have come before us. It's the drive that makes us all great. Tonight, we should remember and honor our fellow Aggie brothers and sisters who gave and gone before us and on whose shoulders we stand. But we must remember that without Bonfire, there would be no 12th man player, no 12th man kickoff team, and no tale of Tim Brown's towel. In the end, what the Red Pots taught Coach Sherrill is that if you could somehow connect the football team to the student body, he could awake the Aggie spirit, and I truly believe he did. So if a scrub like me can come to a school like this and make a play like that, ask yourself, what life-changing event does the Aggie spirit have in store for you? Thanks, gig 'em, and beat the hell out of LSU.
Upload.
Is that better? Do you want to wash your hand?
There be told, his spirit Aggieland. We are the Aggies are we. True to each other as Aggies can be. We've got to fight, boys, we've got to fight. We've got to fight for maroon and white. As we lose it all the rest, let them come and join the best. We are the Aggies are we. We're on KAMC.
Judgment Day in Aggieland. It was Judgment Day in Aggieland, and tenseness filled the air. All knew there was a trip at hand, but not a soul knew where. Assembled on the drill field was a world-renowned 12th man, the entire fighting Texas Aggie team and the famous Aggie band. And out front with royal guard, the reviewing party stood. St. Peter and his angel staff were choosing bad from good. First he surveyed the Aggie team, and in terms of an angel swore, "By Jove, I do believe I've seen this gallant group before. I've seen them play since way back when, and they've always had the grit. I've seen them lose, and I've seen them win, but I've never seen them quit. No need for us to tarry here, deciding upon their fates. 'Tis plain as the halo on my head that they're opening heaven's gates." And when the 12th man heard this, they let out a mighty yell that echoed here to heaven and shook the gates of hell. And when what group is this upon the side, St. Peter asked his aid, that swelled as if to burst with pride when we our judgment made. "Why, sir, that's a cadet corps that's known both far and wide for backing up their fighting team whenever they win, lost, or tied." "Well then," St. Peter said, "it's very plain to me that within the realms of heaven they should spend eternity, and have the Texas Aggie band at once come into play. For their fates too we must decide upon this crucial day." And when the drum major, so hearing, slowly raised his hand and said, "Boys, let's play the spirit for the last time in Aggieland." And the band poured forth the anthem in notes both bright and clear, and 10,000 Aggie voices sang the song they hold so dear. And when the band had finished, St. Peter wiped his eyes and said, "It's not so hard to see, they're meant for paradise." And the colonel of the cadet corps said, as he stiffly took a stand, "It's just another corps trip, boys. We'll march in behind the band." Then heaven's pearly portals opened, hosts of angels showed the way for that fighting at Texas Aggie group on that final judgment day. When more Aggies came in view, 12 dressed in bonfire gear, walked arm in arm and singing of the school they hold so dear. 12 Aggie voices said howdy to the keepers of the gate. "Working hard, we just lost track of time. We hope we're not too late. It's the fighting Texas Aggie Bonfire crew," St. Peter said, "Behold, they're ready to light up heaven with the courage and faith so bold. I would often watch them building the stacks so large and high, and surely knew the time would come when they would build it in the sky." And so the 12 came through the gates. St. Peter said, "Don't fear, you were just in time for roll call. One by one they answered here. Christopher D. Green, here. Jerry Don Self, here. Michael Stephen Eubanks, here. Jeremy Richard Frampton, here. Lucas John Kimmel, here. Christopher Lee Hurd, here. Brian Allen McLean, here. Jamie Lynn Hand, here. Nathan Scott West, here. Chad Anthony Powell, here. Miranda Denise Adams, here. Timothy Doran Curley Jr., here.
Catch the back, Kags! Catch the back! Beat the hell of LSU!
Oh, there's the torch.
Build the hell out of bonfire! Hey! Build the hell out of bonfire.
Shoot that man.
Burn his
that
hand.
guy.
You gotta hold it up.
She gonna let that thing, baby? Do it again. But she's on the wheel. She's on the wheelchair. Why is on the wheelchair, baby?
Here's coming. You'll be fine.
Yes, that is true. That is absolutely true. That's exactly right. We all voted on it for that exact reason. That's right. Now I remember.
So I guarantee that's what we'll go on. I gotta know now.